What's up, guys? This is Brandon Keene with Multi-Level Media. In today's video, we want to talk about multicam editing. Right now, we have 3 cameras going on. We got this camera, and my main camera right in front. So what is the best way to edit these interviews, these podcasts, these video podcasts where you have multi-cams? We want to break down that tutorial, make this the most efficient process and the most seamless workflow. So if we want to cut here, we can do that. If we want this camera rolling, switch over to here. We want this camera on. We can cut this up without going through each individual clip. Final Cut Pro will analyze the data in the video files and it'll put it together and you just choose which camera you want. Okay, so let's get on the computer and break into the tutorial. So now that we're in the computer, let's go ahead and demonstrate this workflow. All right, so the first thing we want to do here is start your project, import your clips, and then once you find the clips from the different cameras that you want to use, just go ahead and select them. So shift, select, make sure that you have all the clips from the different camera angles selected, and then all you're going to do is right click and click new multicam clip. All right, so once you create the new multicam clip, this is going to, it's going to sync and analyze the data in the video files, and it's going to create a new video, sort of like a compound clipped version of those files. And then once you have this multicam clip, you'll be able to name it. So just for example purposes, I'll go ahead and do this again for you guys. New multicam clip. Go ahead and value the name for that clip. You can also change here if you want to change the format, resolution, or frame rate for your Final Cut Pro timeline. So once you have that, go ahead and press OK. I'm going to cancel out just because I have one created. And then once you have that multicam clip, just drag it to your timeline. And you'll see here that it synced everything together. But you can't see those different camera angles. So if that does happen to you, go up to View, and then in View, Show in Viewer, and we want to select Angles. Once you're in here, if you can't see all the angles, whether you shot from 2 cameras, 3, 6, whatever that is, if you don't see all of those camera angles, go to the settings here and it'll allow you to display different angles. So if you have 6 cameras, you want to show up to 9 angles. So I had 3 different camera angles, so I put it to 4 to make sure that we could capture and see all those different angles. All right, so once you have your clip, basically instead of going through that workflow where you layer everything and cut and whatever your workflow is, this is going to be a lot quicker. All you have to do is click the clip that you want to use for that particular point, and then it'll bring that in there, and it'll literally lay out your timeline as you click through the different angles. So for example here, if you look in this section, you're going to see what's playing. Over to the left here are my different camera angles. But if I go ahead and play the video, I'm going to put this on mute. So if I go ahead and play through the video, and I have my main camera right here, if I want this side camera, I click it and it's going to cut to this camera. If I want this other angle, it's going to cut to that angle. And you'll see down on the timeline that it's making these cuts. So let's go ahead and click through. And right here, I want the main camera back to this camera. And then here I'm pointing over to this camera. And you can just literally go through. If you want to go back between these two, this one, back to main cam. And literally all you're doing is taking those multi-cams and selecting which one you're going to use at a particular point. So you'll see if I go back in the timeline here, you can see where I made all these cuts. So let's play it through. All right, so we got that cam. I let this one play out, cut, plays out, cut. And you'll see that. And you can literally just go through if somebody's speaking on an interview, or if you're doing a podcast and you got one person talking, this person, or if you want a wide shot, you can utilize those different camera angles just by using this multi-cam select editing workflow within Final Cut Pro. This saved me a ton of time. I went and tried to shoot an interview, and it took forever to chop it up exactly how I wanted it to be. But after I learned this multicam select editing workflow, I mean, it speeds things up by a lot of time. You're gonna like this one. If you haven't already, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications for all of our upcoming content. Peace.
It's all about humanity.